Hi, everyone. I'm really sorry that I couldn't be here today. I've had to take a day off and take care of some family stuff. And it makes me kind of sad because this was a lesson that I was really looking forward to sharing with you. But this is the way it goes sometimes. We're introducing today a concept that I call Toughness Tuesdays. And I do this on Tuesdays because for me, Tuesday is always the hardest day of the week, not Monday. I know some people have a hard time with Mondays, but I get a lot of energy over the weekend, and usually I have enough energy left over to carry me through a Monday. But by the time I get to Tuesday, that little reservoir of energy has been used up, and Tuesday's the day that is my hardest day. It's the one that I have to fight to get through. So I think that Tuesday is a good day to celebrate toughness because for me, you got to be pretty tough to get through a Tuesday. And you may have noticed that I put this sign up in the back of our classroom that says Cultivate Toughness. And I want to talk to you a little bit about what that means to me. It sort of comes from my mom's side of the family and their background in farming. Because you may know that farmers don't just throw seeds on the soil. They know that if they want to have a good harvest, they've got to cultivate the soil. So they have to take care of it. They have to fertilize it so that it has nutrients. They have to keep it clear of weeds. And they have to irrigate it so that it's moist and has water in it. So soil, we think of soil as sort of soil. It's just dirt. But farmers don't think of it that way. They know that soil is something that they have to take care of. It's something they have to cultivate in order to get what they want out of it. And I feel like toughness is the same way. I really don't think people are born tough. I think that it's something that they have to cultivate. I think that it's a learned behavior. I think that it's a life skill. And I think that it's a really, really increasingly important one. And I think we've seen that in particular in this country over the last 8 years or so. You know, in 2008, I think most of you were 6 years old, 7 years old. So you probably weren't aware of the fact that this country suffered a major economic collapse in that year. And the country has recovered really somewhat slowly in the 8 years that have followed. And this economic downturn affected millions and millions of people. In fact, it affected just about everybody in the United States. No one was immune from this. I think about young people who have graduated from college over the last 8 years, and despite the fact that they've done everything that they thought they were supposed to do, going to college, getting a degree, they're struggling to find jobs that pay reasonably well. I think about older people, retirees, who spent the last 40 years saving up for their retirement and believing that they had saved enough to retire and spend the autumn years of their lives without stress of worrying about finances, but who then found out that they didn't have enough. And so they've had to go back to getting jobs, and they're not finding very well-paying jobs either. And in particular, I think about families, and particularly young families who had a parent or both parents lose their jobs and may have lost their home and things like that. There may be some of you who experience that or whose families experience that. And for people like that, in a lot of cases, toughness is what has got them through. There may be some of you out there whose families made it through because they were tough enough. And the thing about toughness is that it will get you through things that nothing else will. And it's great, I think, to have brain power, to be smart. I think that it's great to have athletic talent or artistic talent or musical talent. And I also think that it's great to be physically attractive, good looking. But the reality is that when things really, really get hard, as they sometimes do, those won't necessarily get you through it. And toughness will. And so when I say toughness is a life skill, I mean that for every one of you, if you haven't experienced real difficulty yet, you will at some point. And the question is, how will you react to it? How will you get through it? One of the really good things about toughness is that it's something that you have complete control over. You may not have complete control over how smart you are, or how athletically or musically or artistically talented you are, and we certainly don't have a lot of control over how good looking we are. But you have control over how tough you are. It's simply a matter of learning what it means and cultivating it. So what we're going to do from time to time on Tuesdays this year is talk about the meaning of toughness. and we're going to look at examples of it, and we're going to think of ways that we can cultivate that skill and that trait in ourselves. And we're going to start today. Your guest teacher is going to provide you with some stories about people. Some of these stories are my own stories about people who I know in my teaching career, and some of them are stories about people who I don't know but who I've read about. And I hope that you will take some time and enjoy these stories and talk about them with each other and see if you can learn a little bit about what it means to be tough. And I look forward to talking to you about that tomorrow when I come back. So be good and enjoy it, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.